Hello and welcome to another Nala Africa Lodge review. I'm Evan and today we're going to be reviewing Simbambili Game Lodge in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve in the Greater Kruger National Park area. And this is Leopards and Luxury. So if that's your cup of tea, then stay tuned. It's also such a great all-rounder camp, and what I mean by that is that it's ticking every box in every department with like a 9 or 10 out of 10 in every single department. So yeah, a really good all-rounder, the most wonderful staff you can imagine, and honestly a location that almost cannot be beaten. So just the lodge in brief. The location is in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve, and it is in the northern Sabi Sands Game Reserve. Rooms, there are 9 luxury suites. One is a honeymoon suite, and another is called the Waterhole Suite, it's the only one with views of the waterhole. Setting, it's overlooking a riverbed as well as an eye-level waterhole, which we absolutely love that combination. Fenced or unfenced, elephant wire in the camp or around the camp. Facilities, there is a wellness area that is actually separate from the main area, and it has a pool, gym, spa, sauna, library, lounge, and pizza area. And then in the main area, there's a main deck, boma, bar, and lounge. And then child policy, there are no children under 12 years old in camp. Traversing area size, it's 6,500 hectares. And then price for 2025, it is 25,000 Rand per person per night. And for South Africans, there is a special South African rate of 8,500 Rand per person per night. All right, so just a description of this lodge. Let's dive in a bit more detail. The location, first of all, one of the strong points of this lodge, an absolutely breathtaking location and setting. Its immediate location is so stunning. I think that riverbed setting is always one of our favorites. Dry riverbed, and yeah, it's just kind of like shaded by beautiful trees. There's lots of wildlife activity in these riverbeds. So yeah, love that riverbed setting. So pretty. And then to have a waterhole behind the riverbed and it's eye level with the main deck is really special, and we love that. So, you know, when we were having our first lunch at camp, there were elephants at the waterhole right in front of us. I mean, what a view to enjoy whilst you're enjoying a meal. I mean, you can't ask for much better than that. And it was constant. It was for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There were animals there, actually. So love that setting there at Simbambili. It is located in the northern Sabi Sands, which we felt is probably a little bit quieter than the rest of the Sabi Sands. So yeah, maybe not as rushed at sightings. Hopefully, you might be able to get an extended amount of time at special sightings. So that's quite good to note. And then your best way to get into camp is actually to fly into the Aratusa airstrip, which is about a 15 or 20 minute bonus game drive, which we love, to Simbambili. I really would not recommend self-driving to this camp. The road is horrific to the Gowrie Gate, where the entrance to the Sabi Sands. So yeah, I mean, it is just, when I say pothole stricken, I mean, people have actually made a detour off the main road and have made like a dirt road off the main road instead of driving on the main road, because there are so many potholes. It's actually undrivable. So people have had to make their own detours on the side of the road. At one stage, I was kind of felt like, am I on the right path? I was kind of in the middle of a township somewhere. There's a couple of turns to make. Yeah, it's sometimes you off-road, sometimes you on-road. It's pretty shocking. So they are trying to tar it at the moment. So hopefully it will improve. But as it stands, definitely don't try self-drive. You can fly into Hoedspruit Eastgate Airport and get a transfer to the lodge, but the transfer will be along that same road. So at least someone else will have to handle the driving, but still, it's not the best drive. So definitely maybe book with Federal Airlines and fly into Aratusa, and we can help with that booking also. And then, yeah, just more about the Sabi Sands. That location is just, of course, just leopards galore. It just feels like there's a leopard around every corner in the Sabi Sands. And not just that they are such relaxed leopards, so happy to kind of share a space with humans and a vehicle. So yeah, you really do get special moments with them where they are so relaxed. You can spend a long time with them, observing them, just appreciating them, I guess, and also photographing them. So this is really like a photographer's heaven in the Sabi Sands. And then in camp, there is actually a resident leopard, if you can believe that. Tiani, female leopard. She was born under one of the decks at the lodge next to Simbambili, the owner's lodge, right next door. And she's had a few litters of cubs under the deck there as well. So she is kind of a resident. She calls Simbambili home as well. So you never know. You could be sitting on your deck and she could be walking up the riverbed with one of her cubs. So yeah, I mean, really, it doesn't get much more special than that. And even if you don't see her, just that the like kind of anticipation and feeling of there's just big cats around. The abundance of big cats is just so exciting. So yeah, love that. So that's just the location. A bit about the rooms. The rooms, of course, as with most of these luxury lodges, so beautiful, very private, well appointed, and beautifully presented. I will say they're probably not the most spacious rooms I've seen, but more than enough space. Some of these lodges, they just go extreme with how expansive the rooms are. But we did find that they were exceptionally well equipped. So yeah, more than most other lodges we visited. They have things like they have 2 towel options, so you can go with an eco-friendly towel. Sometimes we feel like those eco-friendly towels aren't the best to dry yourself with. So they do have, big, heavy, fluffy towels on offer there as well, which we love. Love that they give you that option. They also have things like a day bag if you need it for your stay there. Scarves in case you're feeling a bit chilly. As you can see, it is a little bit chilly in South Africa at the moment, so just bear that in mind that it does get cold in South Africa in winter, although it's such a great time to come on safari. They also, of course, have various plug points and lighting options as well. And then well-stocked minibar, as usual, with all of these lodges. And then what we really love about the Thornybush Lodge collection is that they have that bean-to-cup coffee machine in all their rooms, which just makes those early mornings a little bit more bearable for most guests. For me, I love early mornings, but yeah, it's just so convenient. And it's nice to have a decent cup of coffee in your room at the push of a button. So love those bean-to-cup coffee machines. I'm sure all the coffee snobs will agree with me there. And then outside on the deck, we love that there is a sala area with a day bed, so you can really relax. You can lie down between game drives in the middle of the day and just keep eyes on that riverbed. You never know who you might see walking up there. So the salas to one side, absolutely, I mean, as relaxing as it can get. Private plunge pool in the middle, and then deck chairs on the other side. And yeah, you could spend hours there on the deck just enjoying the bird life, even enjoying the slender mongooses that we had them running around the riverbed constantly. We had a rhino outside our suite as well. So yeah, just very, very relaxing, very well equipped. So yeah, those suites are beautiful. No complaints about them. And then just to note that the waterhole suite is the only one with a view of the waterhole. That would be our choice for sure. That means it is next to the main area, but it's still very private, and you've got those views of the waterhole. I mean, you're going to see more wildlife probably than the rest of the suites. So yeah, lovely to have eyes on that waterhole. And then the honeymoon suite, also to note, is quite a lot bigger than the other suites and is a little bit more private as well. So it's at the end of the camp, and I think they've added a lounge to it that is about the same size as one of the suites' bedrooms. And then in that way, it also makes the deck much bigger, much more expansive. So yeah, honeymoon suite, much bigger. Waterhole suite, the only one with the waterhole view. So yeah, the choice is yours. And then in terms of facilities, there are facilities galore at Simbambili. Really, everything you can imagine to fill up your day between game drives. We love that the wellness center is separate from the main area. It kind of separates guests a bit, so it makes it feel like the camp is really quiet, that no guests are ever on top of each other. It gives couples, a bit more privacy in that way. But yeah, the wellness center has swimming pool, spa, gym, lounge, library, and a pizza area. They love to do a little pizza lunch or dinner, I think it is. And then a sauna, which is also very popular and something I haven't seen at most lodges. And the nice thing about this sauna is that it also has a view of the riverbed. So yeah, you could probably spend an extended amount of time in that sauna as well. And apparently it is very popular. So yeah, love that offering from Simbambili. And then in the main area, the main deck, so it's kind of like a dining area and lounge and main deck. It's very, very expansive. Again, people can really have privacy. This lodge is well suited to couples and honeymooners. So yeah, a lot of privacy if you want, but all with beautiful views of the waterhole, of course. And then kind of like a little fire pit mini boma set up on the one side, which is lovely. Guests seem to enjoy a little drink after dinner there around the fire. Yeah, and then even the curio shop was very well stocked with lots of little goodies that you can take home for your friends and family. So facilities, honestly, probably a 10 out of 10 there at Simbambili. The food really does deserve a mention as well. The food at all the Thornybush lodges is really of a high standard. Gourmet, healthy ingredients, beautifully presented, and very hearty as well. Just huge portions, often served on platters. So you're going to be so well fed at Simbambili and at all the Thornybush lodges. The special thing about Simbambili, though, is that the chef actually worked his way up from bush clearer. So he arrived, low-level job as a bush clearer, not a word of English. Obviously had aspirations to work his way up. He wanted to study English. The management team helped him study English. He thought he'd like to try his hand at being a butler, interacting with guests, and then found his way to the kitchen where he did a bit of a stint to help out and found his calling in the kitchen and worked his way up to sous chef and now main chef. So what a lovely story about, the chef at Simbambili working his way up to main chef and just creating these absolutely, mouth-watering and beautiful dishes for all the guests at Simbambili. We love stories like that, and it just takes me to my next point about the staff. The staff deserves its own title for this presentation. The staff is one of the strongest points at Simbambili, and it is something you should really consider. It's very hard to pick up from a website or online, but the staff at a lodge can really make or break a guest experience, and the staff at Simbambili are just so wonderful. And more than that, they are very, very loyal, and that is a very, very telling sign, I think, of happy staff. And I guess happy staff just translates into happy guests. So even the management team there at Simbambili, they've been there forever. My butler, Glory, who was just the most lovely lady, she's been there for 25 years. It seemed like everyone I asked at Simbambili had been there for 10 years or more. So loyal, very happy staff that care about the guest experience, that are so passionate about what they do. That is, I can't express how important that is. And it's something that really it's almost impossible to pick up online when you in another country. So take it from me, that makes a massive difference, and Simbambili have got that right, and they really do excel in that department. Maybe an 11 out of 10 for the staff at Simbambili. So I really can't say many more good things about the staff. So let's talk about the game drives, my favorite talking point. So at 6,500 hectares of traversing rights, one might think you might feel a little bit restricted. We often suggest more than 10,000 hectares of traversing rights, just so that guests, if they have an extended stay, they don't have to go on the same roads over and over again. It gives them a chance to explore a bigger area in the hopes that they will find more wildlife. And please push back on this if you want. I'd love your feedback on this, but I do feel like in the Sabi Sands itself, 6,500 hectares is actually enough of a traversing right, or of an area to traverse. And I say this because of the abundance of wildlife in the Sabi Sands. It just seems like you're going from sighting to sighting to sighting to sighting. You don't spend a long time on the road between like big high profile sightings. I mean, we were less than 10 minutes into our first game drive, bumping into the tortoise pan male leopard, who just relaxed right next to us. And yeah, we spent an extended amount of time with him, taking photos of him, enjoying his company. I mean, and then from there we went to elephants having a mud bath, and we had a hyena at sunset, and yeah, we just had just a full game drive, full of wildlife sightings. And it really almost feels like you don't need to travel too far from the lodge itself to even bump into all of these animals. The next morning, we had Tiani, female leopard, and her beautiful blue-eyed cub that we found in a riverbed. Spent a while with her, just photographing her, just really being blown away by her and appreciating her. It's just the most beautiful sighting. And then went on our game drive, found a lot of general game. We found the Nkuhuma pride of lions marching down the road in the morning sun. It was such a really like impressive sighting to see, and we thought they were on the hunt, but we followed them for a while before they kind of lay down, as lions often do during the day, and looked like they were very comfortable there, so we left them. But yeah, it's just from sighting to sighting. After that, more general game, eventually circled back and found Tiani and her cub again at a waterhole and followed her for a bit before returning to camp. But yeah, I mean, even in just 2 game drives there, we also had a beautiful rhino sighting at sunset. Just wildlife galore, leopards galore and wildlife galore. So much in such a short amount of time that it really feels like 6,500 hectares is more than enough. Some seasoned safari goers might disagree with me there, or might just prefer, a bigger traversing area to be able to explore a bigger area. And the one thing to consider might be that if you are following a leopard for a while, it might cross over an invisible boundary into an area that you're not allowed traversing onto. So that is always something to consider, and obviously, kind of takes a little bit away there from the experience, but I mean, you're certainly going to fill up your camera cards at Simbambili, even with that 6,500 hectare traversing area. I'd say in another game reserve, Klaseri, even Timbavati perhaps, it might be a bit small. I'm also someone that prefers a much bigger traversing area, but in the Sabi Sands, it felt like enough. Let me know what you think about that. Then also the Sabi Sands is really, we really love that it's well protected. They've got the best of the best security looking after that game reserve. Your conservation levies are going to good work there as well, so that's just something to point out. But yeah, more in terms of the wildlife, big cats galore, or the general game. The one omission may be cheetah. They might come into the area every now and again, and they do, but they tend not to because of how many other big cats are in the area. So yeah, they seem to prefer to be in an area that isn't full of leopards and lions, just for safety reasons, I guess. So yeah, almost as good as it gets in terms of wildlife, although not up there with the Mala Malas, Londolozis, and Sangitas of the world, who are just on an absolute another level, but mostly because of their exclusivity of their traversing areas. And then any negatives about Simbambili, and honestly, I can't think of any besides the traversing area, which I've just explained. So yeah, if you're someone that wants a bigger traverse, that is the only negative I can think about with Simbambili. They're really excelling in every single department. Something special it offers, like I mentioned, the staff is probably number one. The food is also really, really exceptional. And then the location for us is possibly our favorite location of all time now. I know I've said that before recently at Tinswalo, but this one is a strong challenger to that. So yeah, one of our top locations. And then who does it suit? As I mentioned, couples. It's probably best suited to couples and honeymooners. It's such a romantic camp. It's tranquil, it's quiet, it's beautiful, it's romantic, and it's intimate. So yeah, and they can really cater for honeymooners. They can really make the trip very, very special for you with just little treats along the way during your experience. Like really romantic turn down service, private dinners, and other meals. They can really set it up so that you have a very, very special honeymoon. And then, of course, any families or groups with kids over 12 will also love it as well. So, yeah. So then, just in conclusion, this is one of the best all-rounder camps we've ever seen, where every single department is at a world-class level. So from the facilities to the staff, the game drives, the setting, everything. The price also is definitely justified for the experience you get at Simbambili. If you're comparing with other lodges in the same price bracket in the Sabi Sands or in the Greater Kruger itself, definitely justified. They've priced it well. And we love that they also offer South African rates, which is fantastic for South Africans. And then, yeah, really the strong points are the staff, the wildlife, the location, or just real standout features here. And then one thing that I did not even mention is that they have a very, very high return guest rate, which is also a real telling feature when you're looking at the quality of a lodge. So one of the guests that we were with, it was his 8th time visiting Simbambili. Other guests that were there come 3 times every single year. This is all to the same game lodge, and they are well-traveled people. They've been to many lodges around South Africa, around the Sabi Sands. They keep coming back to Simbambili, and I think that's really telling. Simbambili offers something so special, something you can't pick up from a website or online, and it's that atmosphere that they can create there. It's the staff that are so passionate about the guest experience. It is, of course, the wildlife in the area, the location and setting that is just so beautiful. It's all of that bundled up together that just creates this wonderful experience at Simbambili, that these people just keep coming back to the exact same spot because they know they can't find that anywhere else. So that is really telling for me that they have such loyal guests, and then of course the loyal staff as well. Loyal guests and loyal staff, I think that's very telling. So yeah, let me know what you think about Simbambili. It's obviously we fell in love with the place. It's a very special lodge. They offer a phenomenal experience there. But let us know what you think about Simbambili. Maybe you've been there before, and you share our love with the lodge. Maybe it's on your list. Maybe it's on your bucket list. What do you think about the Sabi Sands in general? Do you think that traversing area is big enough? And if you're ready to start planning your safari, please reach out. I couldn't be more excited to help you start planning that. But until next time, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.